never even allow it. But Beach also knew ordinary New Yorkers, long suffering in slow, crowded, filthy conveyances, would love it. So, on the theory that if you build it, they will come, he built it. A short section of it, anyway, right under Tweed's nose, furtively boring a 300-foot-long, 8-foot-diameter tunnel 20 feet underneath Broadway using a tunneling machine he'd invented for the purpose. Beach spared no expense to impress the public. He furnished the waiting room, in the basement of a men's clothing store, with a grand piano, chandeliers, and a water fountain stocked with goldfish. The capsule-like car was richly upholstered and brilliantly illuminated by zirconia lights. He sank half his fortune into the project. He was betting on himself to win. The demonstration line was a wild success. Tens of thousands of New Yorkers paid $0.25 apiece to ride this train to nowhere and glimpse the future of mass transit. Beach donated the receipts to charity. The Beach Pneumatic Railway proved conclusively the feasibility of underground railways in Manhattan. New York seemed destined to become the second city in the world with a comprehensive subway system, after London. Unfortunately, political lethargy and greed would conspire to deny the city a subway for another 30 years. Yet Beach still accomplished one of the most astonishing feats of engineering in American history, the surreptitious creation of the nation's first operational underground passenger railroad. As I was writing this book, New York was engaged in another great struggle over a traffic reduction measure, namely congestion pricing. Today, as in Beach's time, powerful business and political interests often clash with public interests. Today, as in Beach's time, technology is advancing at a head-spinning rate, and society struggles to keep up with the changes. What follows is a true story that, although taking place a century and a half ago, will at times sound awfully familiar. Enjoy the book. Chapter 1. A Kind of Aladdin's Cave. Under Broadway Reception. To state officers, members of the legislature, city officials, and members of the press. You are respectfully invited to be present on Saturday, February 26th, 1870, from 2 to 6 o'clock p.m. at the office of the Beach Pneumatic Transit Company, 260 Broadway, corner of Warren Street. A. E. Beach, President. Joseph Dixon, Secretary. The engraved invitations began arriving at the homes and offices of New York City's most prominent citizens earlier that week. The recipients were undoubtedly familiar with the address to which they were invited. For weeks, the doings at 260 Broadway, or more precisely, underneath it, had been the subject of much rumor and conjecture. The previous autumn passers-by had begun noticing strange paraphernalia being delivered into the basement of the building. Iron rails, an enormous fan, wagon loads of bricks, a piano. Unusual because the 5-story building housed a large clothing store called Devlin's, a business not typically requiring such equipage. Then, at night, large wooden boxes filled with dirt and sand, presumably excavated from beneath the building, were observed being hauled away on large flatbed wagons, the wheels of which, some claimed, were wrapped in blankets to muffle the noise. Ostensibly, the Beach Pneumatic Transit Company was merely installing an experimental pneumatic tube under Broadway for the expeditious delivery of goods and parcels. But many New Yorkers were convinced something else was going on beneath Devlin's, something much more interesting and perhaps more important than, as one paper put it, a new way of puffing merchandise. For some time past, there has been a great deal of speculation as to the character of the work going on beneath Broadway, the New York Times reported in December 1869. Numerous attempts were made by the curious and members of the press to obtain admission to Devlin's basement, the paper added. But to all, the doors were closed, and the most profound secrecy on the matter was preserved by all engaged in the matter. A New York Sun reporter dispatched to the scene had no more luck than his Times counterpart. No one save those employed therein is admitted into the mystic depth.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.